It's the time to get down.
When you don't think you're good or you're aspiring to be better, then you're always feeling like, oh God, thanks, but I'm not there. I
Right.
need to work on my chops. I need to work on this. And the guys that think they're great,
That's what it is. They think they're great.
they're great.
Now, Dan, you know what? You told me something. A little celebration about what has happened. At the end of the year, you had somewhat of a success on the charts.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
So tell me a little
okay.
something
Come on,
about that, man.
share,
We had our
Dean.
last one I was here. That little Christmas song that I wrote got
Which
out.
we play which we played a lot.
So it ended up going #1 on smoothjazz.com last week.
Hey!
I was
Yeah.
ahead of Dave Koz and Quincy Jones. So on the Broad Jam chart, though, 2 weeks before that, I was right underneath Quincy Jones, so that was fun, man. Seeing my name right there next to Quincy. But I don't know who that guy is, Quincy Jones.
I have a funny Quincy story, actually. Now, a lot of people don't know that in the early 80s, do you all remember the Superfest
Yes.
festivals?
Yes.
Well, I was part of the
attended.
Quincy Jones Orchestra in the
Oh
Superfest
wow, man!
festival. So we're at rehearsal, and I'm trying to read the chart, and it's his medley. It's 170 some odd bars of music. But he makes the quick little tacit things and puts
I
the
wouldn't
bar
know.
number. He puts the bar number. How many bars you're resting, he puts on top of the bar. Right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't count them because for whatever reason, I couldn't focus. So we're taking a break. This is at the record plant. No, not
Right.
record plant. Golly, there's another facility there. There's the old age coming back again. Anyway, at this particular facility we were rehearsing at, big sound stage, all of the people that were going to be doing the show, the house men and the monitor men and the light men, were at every rehearsal. So we were taking a break. Everybody's going to get food. He's standing up there reading over something that we're going to do when we come back. And I said, Quincy, I'm having trouble with the medley. He said, what's the trouble? I said, I can't follow the chart. He said, you didn't miss any of the entrances. I said, yeah, but I still can't follow the chart. He said, give me the chart. I handed him the chart. He said, this is just a road map. It's not the Bible. Threw it up in the air. Well, now, at the moment he throws it up in the air,
Now you're like going down really loud.
he said that I didn't miss any entrances. So I knew I was cool.
Right.
But the copyist had to pick up all that paper and put it back in the order that it appeared as it was written.
Right.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, that's the first time I ever thought to myself that musicians that are creative, that use their ears and their hearts, they're not locked to the paper.
No.
The paper's just the guide.
Yeah.
Unless you just happen to be one of 44 strings doing a string section.
Right. Well, then that's.
Then you're kind of locked in.
If you're on a soundtrack or something.
Yeah, but other than that,
No.
we're good to go.
And I know actually one of the guys that mixed half of the record with me, a friend of mine, Francis Buckley. He
Oh,
mixed,
Francis Buck. Yeah,
Did
okay.
he ever come on the show?
No, he
we
contacted
would love
me.
to have Francis.
Oh
Buck.
yeah, Deb, he
he's in
contacted
Quincy's
us.
book. He has a Grammy with Quincy for mixing the Juke Joint
Yeah.
record.
Yeah.
And he did half of this, and he says that Quincy is just so laid back because what he does is he hires the guys for what they do.
I think that of all the things that I learned from Quincy, that's most paramount, is have faith in the individuals and believe in the individuals that you ask to come to help make the music that you've recorded.
You don't want to bring a guy in and expect him to do something that he doesn't do.
No.
Because then you're not going to get the end result.
But the beautiful thing about Quincy is he ain't gonna let you do that anyway. he would tell somebody like Miles would tell him, see that rest? Yeah, play it, man. Play that rest. Lean on that rest.
Wow.
Because they always, all of the old school cats always believed, as do I, but after years and years and years of seeing it come, that less is more.
Oh, yes.
And without space in it, you bombard the listener with too much sonic information. They can't people that aren't into music can't hear it all like that. We
uh,
only hear it like that because we're so
Gifted.
no. Well, yeah, in most cases, but most players, most singers, when they do what it is they do, they put blinders on,
Yeah.
right? Especially
not-
if they read in paper for the first or second or third or fourth time. String players, the counter opposite. If it ain't written on the paper, you ain't gonna get it.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna get it. I mean, in terms of
Right.
the little nuances of recording,
Right.
the crescendos, the decrescendos, the pizzicatos, and how hard they are, or how soft they are. You know, one of the things that I've learned over the years is if you use orchestration correctly, you only have to use it sparsely.
Everybody, check it out. Pay attention to the words of the maestro. These words of wisdom. You know, I got to acknowledge the chat room. You know, we got so many folks in the chat room today, you guys. Record, most of them just watching. But man, let me tell you something. Over quadruple, approximately 4 to 5 times our usual chat rooms. We got over 45 people in the chat room. And I got to acknowledge it. Mac McAllister, G&M Bureau Chief, up there in Port Townsend. The Retro Jazz and Blue. He's the director and the creator of the Retro Jazz and Blue show, the #1 Retro Jazz and Blue show. Hey there, Mac, in the chat room. You know, Mac, he's been commenting. Also, PMC from Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, my man.
We have Web Radio.
Okay.
Writing a bunch of stuff. You know, they've been asking questions, Phil, and you've been dealing with some of that. One of the things that was being proposed was, what do you think about the record producers today? You mentioned some of the things that were problems, and people were questioning. Do you think the issues that producers, too, are using a formula regardless of the quality of the singer?
I couldn't reduce it to just a formula, but I would try to remind everybody that there are a lot of people involved in making music. None of them do it for free. Okay?
All right.
If producers are getting paid to produce less than
Yeah.
harmonically enriching music,
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
right?
Yeah.
Then
That's right.
they're not. It doesn't.
That's
and,
right.
and I want to make sure that I express this correctly. It doesn't cheapen or lessen their commitment to quality. All they're trying to do is keep getting paid.
There you go. It's a job, right? There's
It's a
a bottom
gig.
line.
It's a job.
And they tell you what to do.
Well, in terms of production, they wouldn't have hired you if they had questions of your
I'll tell you what.
ability.
It is as dumbed down and as bad as the performers are these days. The producers are doing an amazing job.
Yeah, because my phrase of the day, Dean, has been our market has been flooded with mediocrity.
Oh
Well,
man.
let's look at something that's not mediocre. And let's take a look at Dean Gresh as he visits a classic, Autumn Leaves.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was just me playing it.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And he just me playing, but I'm jamming and shit. So everybody, Dean Gresh, everybody, take a look. A classic. Hey, everybody. Dean Grass. You know, they're overwhelming me in here. I'm sorry. You know, it's such a party. Such a party. You know, such a party in here because the whole day has been wonderful. And people are coming by to pay their regards, to get to say their Phil Perry stories. And we've been getting some of our old friends from the past, people like Dean Gresh, who's been on our show before. But we also have a good friend here today. And we're going to get a chance to introduce them. But things are getting ready. Let me tell you what's happening. Did Don skip out? Yeah. Okay, Don. Okay, let me tell you what's happening.
Yeah.
I put up equipment in the living room. And understandably, and I must admit, my intentions are to seduce the musicians. I stick a keyboard up there. Some of them, you know, it's like putting a plate of food out. So it's in there to seduce them. It's in there to seduce them. So they will be doing some jamming now. We'll try to capture some of that for later broadcasts and updating on the site, but we will capture some of that, kicking it in the living room because it is that kind of a day, and that's why we've been having people today. Now we've got Lillian Tynes Perry.
And I'm gonna follow you on one thing, Mar. I'm gonna do this because see,
I'm trying to follow my directions.
No, you're doing good. No, you're doing it. Hey, what is it? We run this.
We run this bitch.
There you go. All right, now
in a kind way,
in a nice way,
in a sweet way.
See, I think when you bring the ladies on, you have to do it with a certain kind of
pretty lady.
Je ne sais quoi. And Dean, being that he's the lion right now in the room because he's sitting amongst the lionesses, I think you have to introduce them in a certain way. I think you have to present them in the flavor that they run things. So, Mario, try to do the best you can, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, as so often we've had the pleasure of having on our shows, we got to introduce you once again to gifted singer, songwriter, indie, Kristen Commodore, everybody. Yeah. There she is. Boston in the house.
Oh, New England Patriot. Oh, my God.
Hey, what's happening?
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Kristen, for coming by today. A special day. You know, we've talked in the past about Phil Perry.
Absolutely.
You know.
I'm so excited. I mentioned him in an interview 3 years ago as being one of my inspirations as an instrumentalist. So, and I think I told you and Victor that the last time I was on. So
That's
it's
right.
An honor.
Yeah.
So do I detect an accent?
Yes. Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston.
That's right. Home of the beans. That's right.
That's a good music town, Boston.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely.
Well, so glad that you could come by and get a chance. You know, Kristen, too, like so many of our associates, has product out there, her own personal internet television channel, KristenCommodore.com, where she is the acting person in charge. Much like Lillian Tynes Perry, the management portion of the Phil Perry project, who actively runs the channel. And Lily, you got to take credit for decorating that. I tell everybody I built it, but you decorate it and do your thing.
Well, you know, it's like Phil. I run him and I decorate him. Naturally, the channel has to reflect all of that hard work. You know, the reason I was doing all this is because one of my favorite people just walked into the studio. He doesn't know I love him, and he thinks I'm mad at him, but I'm not. I love him. But we'll get to you.